This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody? Good evening and welcome to the November 12th edition of Prim and Proper Sports. I am your host, Sonia. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are literally halfway through this wonderful month of November already, and Thanksgiving is right around the corner. You know it's going to be sales galore for the holidays upcoming and everything. Allow me to get this opportunity to thank the production team behind the scenes. Let me thank Pink Fan Fur, who always does our promos and has us where we need to be. And of course, Brian Bistrilla, who absolutely does an amazing job on our musical and all things songs and all the good stuff that you guys have come to love and support. We are live tonight, and so your comments will be addressed during the live show tonight. Allow me an opportunity to do some sharing here. I was waiting for Pink Fanfur to be able to do that, but she may be a little busy at this time, so allow me to just do this for everybody. And let me also take this opportunity to thank all of our service men and women who have served. I hope that you're not just celebrating on yesterday, but that you're actually celebrating the entire month, because you deserve so much more than just one day. And we definitely would not be where we are if it was not for your sacrifice. So we thank you so much for that sacrifice. You guys, we are approaching week number 11 in the NFL. I want to start off with some kind of bittersweet news. Now, everyone, unless you've been living under a rock, if you're following NFL, especially Cowboys fans, Marshawn Kneeland, who unfortunately unalived himself on last week. Well, the Cowboys franchise revealed on today that his girlfriend, Catalina, is in fact expecting their first child. So they have a GoFundMe, an endowment, a scholarship, everything that they need to have in place for fundraisers to support her and their unborn child. And they are saying they want to do this for life, because they're saying Marshawn is a Cowboy for life. So just very sad, even more so sad now, knowing that his son or daughter, will come into the world, but they will know how great he was, I'm sure, from Catalina and family members who are there still supporting them. So I don't want to say congratulations, because it's such a bittersweet time to be actually supporting them. But just another layer of shock, honestly, when you look at the situation and you realize, okay, now he was about to be a father. Whatever he was going through had to be just overwhelmingly painful for him, or perhaps he just did not have an opportunity to know. So nonetheless, we are definitely continuing to think of the Kneeland family, and of course Catalina now and their unborn child. So I'm going to make sure I don't miss any comments tonight. Those are up now. I also want to take an opportunity to greet Miss Linda. She is Mac, our great producer extraordinaire who gained his wings early this year. She is the wife of him, and so I know she watches from time to time. So thank you so much, Miss Linda, for always supporting from National Streaming Sports. All right, guys. So I've talked a little bit and try to get some introductions here to allow everybody to come on. And with that, we'll get into our Week 10 recap. Now, let me go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room because y'all know how I am. Yes, the Panthers lost to the Saints. Yes, the Saints only had won one game prior to that game, and now they have two. But you guys know divisional matchups are just that. They are very difficult to call at times. But even more surprisingly, it was at Bank of America Center, and it just did not look like the same Panthers team. Rico Dowdle still tried to play. They actually iced him, guys. The New Orleans Saints defense stood 10 toes down and iced the offense of the Carolina Panthers. And much to the chagrin of Bank of America fans that had actually packed the stands for the first time in a very long time, as I was told, we just did not get what we thought we were going to get in the outcome. 17-7 was the final score. And guys, that was a shocker. Now, we still have to go to New Orleans a little bit later on in the season, and we shall get our retribution then. Speaking of retribution, we have the Atlanta Falcons on this Sunday, November 16th in Atlanta. So Falcons dropping their game overseas. I'd like to say we're not concerned, but after the performance I saw at BOA, I'm not too confident on what could happen. I know I want us to win. Let's be clear on that. I know we can win, but it's literally any given Sunday, like all of us always talk about. So let's get into some of the other games that occurred throughout the week. Like I said, the Atlanta Falcons kicked off on Sunday morning, across the pond, going now to 3-7 against the Indianapolis Colts. That game went into overtime. 31-25 was the final score. I blamed coaching on that one. When the Falcons were faced in a situation that there was a 10-second runoff at the end of the quarter, instead of, they had their timeouts. They could have very easily taken a timeout and forfeited the 10-second runoff. But rather than do that, Raheem Morris decided to take a gamble, accept the 10-second runoff, and take it to overtime. I knew at that point that that was going to be a negative for the Falcons going forward. They should have allowed the timeout, saved the, at the time, 11 seconds that were on the board, and move forward with possibly trying to get a field goal to end the game. Well, they did not, and it went into overtime, and they lost 31-25. Falcon fans are irritated, to say the least. So many Falcons groups and even radio stations here in Atlanta are speaking out against this. They need a better kicker. Justin Tucker, by the way, has just finished his 10-game suspension and is now eligible to try out for any team in the NFL and to be signed by them. You guys remember him, the former Baltimore Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker, who had found himself in a bit of entanglement with some masseuses or what have you, but it just didn't look good. So that he was suspended literally the duration of this season. But here he is back. And so, Falcons, you guys need a kicker. You prematurely got rid of Young Wei Koo, who is now a kicker with the New York Giants. And you are now standing in a situation that Gonzalez just may not be it. So perhaps you may look to get Justin Tucker to come down here, because some of these games that you all have lost could have been won had you just had a better kicker. So as they say, we shall see what the end is going to be, and that's going to be that. Let me share this live a little bit more here. I'm not seeing the shares that normally pop up, and I just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to know we are live tonight. So anyway, all right, guys. Let's look at some of the key games. Now, the biggest game before I get all the way down is the Miami game versus Buffalo. Now, for those people who were speaking out against Buffalo, who were, talking junk, Buffalo got their behinds handed to them by the Miami Dolphins. This is what I'm talking to you guys about. Division matchups do matter. This is really, really big. But before we get there, let's look at some of the other games. Green Bay and the Philadelphia game literally looked like a game of defensive players, one against another. 10-7 was that final score. The LA Chargers defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers. How disappointed are you guys in the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers? This is something I told everybody about a while back. I was not impressed with Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers to begin with. Just the entire way that it just unfolded with all the drama that was going around with his signing, him holding out and what have you. And now he's with them, and he's just not the Aaron Rodgers that they signed up for. And I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh fans are not pleased at all. And so when you look at things like that, you just kind of look like, okay, here we go again. And now what have you. So Pittsburgh falls 10-25 to the Chargers. The Detroit Lions double what Washington puts up without Terry McLaurin and, of course, Jaden Daniels. And that is 44-22. And then on top of that, you have scores where Houston actually won against Jacksonville. A little bit of disappointing news for Jacksonville. Your guy, Mr. Heisman, he is Travis Hunter, and he is officially out for the season after a knee surgery on yesterday that ends his NFL debut, at least for this year. So we wish Travis well. We definitely hope he gets better soon, but he is out for the duration of the season. Nonetheless, the actuality of that division making some type of tailspin run is a shocker here, with them getting the defeat to Houston 36-29. LA Rams defeated the San Francisco 49ers 42-26, another divisional matchup. Baltimore got over on Minnesota despite a very valiant fight by the Vikings, 27-19. JJ McCarthy still looking good. Let's not get it twisted. The New York Jets actually beat the Cleveland Browns. So Jets securing them a win here, 27-20. And I told you guys about Miami getting the win over Buffalo. Not just a win, a trolloping, 30-13 over the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I don't know where Josh Allen was in the picture, but he was supposedly there, but then he was nowhere. 30-13. New England gave Tampa Bay what they needed to do to get it done in a close game, 28-23 over Baker Mayfield and that injured offense who was continuously getting it done no matter what. They didn't have enough against the Patriots. Drake May looking outstanding. I dare to say that New England has found their missing quarterback. They have not been the same or competitive since Tom Brady left. I mean, you guys remember they tried Cam Newton. They tried a couple of other different quarterbacks throughout, and they look like they finally have found their quarterback in Drake May, the UNC Chapel Hill alum. So they got it done against Tampa Bay, and that's big, 28-23. Chicago edged out the New York Giants, and I don't know why they were struggling, because the Giants have not looked that good. Of course, everyone knows they have now fired their coach, Daboll, no longer their coach. Cam Scatterboo is out injured. Malik Neighbors was injured. They are now benching Cam Ward, Dart. I always mix him and the Titans quarterback up. They are now ditching him for, you guessed it, Mr. Crab Legs. Jameis Winston is getting his start. Mr. 30 for 30 is coming back out on the field on Sunday for the next matchup. So over Russell Wilson, y'all. Over Russell Wilson. So the Giants have veteran quarterback in their locker room, and they are trying them all on like shoes in a shoe store right now. So New York, I don't know what you need to do, but you need to do what you need to do to get whatever you need to do. So I don't know how that's gonna pan out in the long run. Right now, that team is pretty much out of playoff contention. This is going to be the week that you start seeing, okay, they're out for playoff contentions. Oh, they're out for playoff contentions. Just watch what I say. Everybody's going to start getting this information really quickly here. And before you know it, we'll all see just who all is out. Like, if it's week 11, guys, like, this is the time you have to win to stay in. Like, seriously. All right. So, and then, of course, Carolina, I told you guys we lost to the New Orleans Saints 17-7. Defense just shut it down. I mean, Tyler Shuck, that is. Aw, shucks. He literally put up so much against the Carolina defense that it literally looked like we were a sham of ourselves. So congratulations to the New Orleans Saints. Hope you enjoyed that win. It will not repeat itself when we come out to the NO later this season. And then Denver won against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I picked the Raiders for the upset on that game, and it almost was an upset because it was closer than what people thought. Like I said, another divisional matchup, and that's when people really stand up and you can see exactly what's what. 10-7 on Thursday Night Football. Let's look at some injuries going into our next matchups here. Injury updates on quarterback Brock Purdy of the 49ers and Rams wide receiver Devontae Adams. Both are expected to play on Sunday. Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson is out, and Giants kicker Graham Gano is now on IR. So they will be exercising Younghoe Koo for the Giants kicking activities in their next matchup. Eagles and Packers reflections from Monday Night Football. Following their game, there's a lot of positive reports on the Eagles' offensive line, while the Packers quarterback and head coach have commented actually on their loss. Now, a lot of people were talking about spreading the love, as they always say, but it just was not there in that matchup. And that game was almost Yawnsville, y'all. Like, I literally felt like this is not the game I thought it'd be high-powered offense, but it was not. But nonetheless, they got it done there. And if you look, the Seahawks defensive, now we don't talk a lot about the Seahawks. Sam Darnold, former Carolina Panther, former New York Jet, out there getting it done in Seattle. They are actually projected to lose their next matchup coming up. I was just looking at the odds on the games here coming up for the next week, week 11. But there's important news out of that franchise coming up with Sam Darnold. How he's acclimated. Is he the answer? Their linebacker, DeMarcus Lawrence, actually talked about the defense following their Week 10 win and just what that looks like and what they've done during the offseason to get to where they need to get to. And if you think about how everything is just going with the league, what are your thoughts? If you guys have thoughts, this is the time to drop those in the chat. What are your thoughts about your team and where you stand going into week number 11? I'd like to also know how you guys think about the Bears, some of these teams that we didn't really pay attention to last season to get to where they're going. Good news for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bucky Irving has returned to practice, and that's big for them, getting back some of their front center there. Chris Partee and Brock Purdy, also from the 49ers, have an opportunity to come back and play in week number 11. A lot of major players that have been out are projected to be returning coming up this week. And Cam Jurgens returns to practice. The Lions versus the Eagles injury report that was released there. Speaking of, Jair Alexander announced on yesterday that he is stepping away from football. Now, Jair is pretty young. Some speculations out there are talking about, personal reasons or what have you. But whatever it takes at this juncture for people to do what they need to do best for themselves, that's what they should do. And so we definitely wish him all the well, and hopefully he'll return to the game when he is ready and when he is in a better place, whatever that looks like for him, and he'll have much success. the Green Bay Packers, when they lost the game, it was so weird. People were asking Matt LaFleur, about questions about the loss to the Eagles. I mean, this is the world champs. I think people have forgotten that. And he was quoted saying they basically dug themselves into a hole that they couldn't get themselves out of. People love to react when there's a loss, no matter what it is. And so when you look at it, the best and worst of the NFL Week 10, that actually was one of the games, especially the Buffalo Bills game against Miami and the Carolina Panthers. Now, let's fold back just a little bit to the Atlanta game. Jonathan Taylor literally turned in the best performance by a running back all season in Sunday's matchup over in Berlin against the Atlanta Falcons. If y'all don't know, you need to run his numbers because Jonathan Taylor looked unstoppable. Now, there were some opportunities that the Falcons defense looked like they may have had him kind of cornered in, but it did not last for long. And another message here, New England, I told you guys how they have really been improving. They, for a while, guys, this is what's shocking. I guess, they've won so many rings back to back. It was only natural that at some point they started to lose, but they are now going from worst to the first in the AFC East. They have that victory, 28-23 over Tampa Bay, and they are claiming the division, guys. Just really, really big news coming out of New England. So Patriots fans can once again, get excited about the game and what have you. Now, I'm not going to go out there on a limb and say you guys going to the Super Bowl. Let's be clear. But you could. You could definitely make a playoff push. And that's what I think everybody will be looking forward to coming up. Let's make sure we don't have any more breaking news before I hop off of here. This is a condensed version of the show that we do on Wednesday nights here. And that way I try to make sure that everybody is accounted for. Now, let me just run through because we'll talk about this a little bit on Friday night, Friday with the Fellas. This is my show that I have with everybody on Friday nights at 9 p.m. right here. Jets and Patriots are coming up on Sunday Night Football, and I'm going to tell you, not Sunday Night Football, on Sunday, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, do not think of this one way or another. Why? Because I told you divisional games are different. The Washington Commanders are playing starting off Sunday morning in Spain at 9:30 a.m. This is their first Spain game against the Miami Dolphins. They've already started taking their swim over there. The Green Bay Packers are taking on the New York Giants. I guess you guys are going to be excited about that in one way or another. We get a chance to see Jameis Winston come back out there. The Texans and Titans. The Titans are looking a little bit better, guys. Looking a little bit better. We may see some things that we were not planning on seeing, especially because this game is in Nashville. That's Sunday. Of course, I told you guys the Atlanta Falcons will take on the Carolina Panthers here in the city. Birds are going to be sitting there, not looking pretty after we're done with them, hopefully. Fingers crossed, Panther fans. Bears and Vikings, NFC North matchup, y'all. The Vikings and the Bears, that's going to be a good one and probably a very high-watched game because they are so competitive in the NFC North. By the way, congratulations to the Detroit Lions. They have taken over the NFC North division as the best NFC North team, and I think they may be the highest ranked NFC team right now in the league. So congratulations to them. The Chargers are taking on the Jaguars, as well as the Buccaneers are taking on the Bills in Buffalo. Now, I'm definitely not always going to root for Buffalo, but I will on this because I need the Buccaneers to lose another game. And I need the Panthers to win this one so we can take over the South. It's all about, what benefits me. The enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. You know what I mean, guys? So that's that. Bengals are taking on the Steelers for an AFC matchup. Joe Flacco. Joe. Aaron Rodgers. These are names that are throughout, this entire division. So it's anybody's game in the AFC North. 49ers are taking on the Cardinals for NFC West matchup. Brock Purdy is expected to be back. Not sure if Kyler Murray has been cleared yet or not. That's going to be important. to see. They had quarterback Mills that was out there last week, but he didn't look too shabby. The Seattle Seahawks are taking on the Rams. We got Goff versus Sam Darnold. That's going to be a good game. And that game is actually in LA. And they are predicting Jared Goff and his crew to win that game. So that's going to be, I say Jared Goff. Matt Stafford. Jared Goff is in Detroit. Matt Stafford came from Detroit, and he is with the Rams. What am I thinking? I went way back, guys. Matt Stafford and the Rams. All right. And then you have the Chiefs and the Broncos in Denver playing at 4:25 p.m. Sean Payton's got that Denver Broncos defense looking like the defense from 10 years ago. And let's be clear, Bo Nix, people are saying, Aaron Andrews was quoted as saying, move over Patrick Mahomes. People are no longer talking about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. They're talking about Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton has gotten the quarterback that he wants after all the drama he had with Russell Wilson season or two ago. And it looks like it's finally paying off. He's been able to mentor and shape Bo into the quarterback that he wants him to be. So that game, we'll see what it looks like. Mahomes versus Nix, 4:25 in Denver on Sunday. And then the Ravens and Browns got another AFC matchup here. I don't know what that's going to look like. Lamar Jackson, Joe Flacco. We're going to see if they keep them out there. Then you got the Lions and Eagles. Now that game is Sunday night. Everybody's looking for that game. Those are the two teams that were supposed to be in the NFC Championship last year. But Washington played spoiler alert and got the Lions out of there a little bit early. So, Lions, if you're really at the top of your game, we're going to get a chance to see it front stage before the entire NFL world on Sunday night at 8:20 p.m. That's going to be on Peacock and NBC. All right, so I'm going to be watching that game. Then you got Monday Night Football. And I don't know how thrilled y'all are about this one because this is Monday, November 17th, and it's the Cowboys and it's at the Raiders. And Geno Smith and Pete Carroll have just been meh all season. Cowboys generally do not travel well, and they've been up and down this entire season. But we're going to get a chance to see if Dak Prescott can do what he needs to do over in Las Vegas. All right, so that is all of our games coming up for the entire week. And then, of course, Thursday will kick off week 12, where the Bills and Texans will face each other, and that will kick off the beginning of the next week. I think that's all I have now, guys. I really appreciate everybody coming on and looking and viewing and what have you. And we'll be live at 9 on Friday night. And with that, I bid everybody a good night. Thanks so much for joining.